those on laptops in this room to drill down to the different polling stations or districts. But for purposes of this specific presentation, we shall choose Lango. You can choose Lango region, but any other region you'd be able to visualize. So in Lango, okay, if you could hover, you've chosen Otuge. Could you go back so that we're able to see Lango as region? So it's okay. Within Lango, it will zoom and we shall look at the different districts within Lango, but you could hover over Dokolo, for example. Okay. Show names, yes. So you'll be able to see the different ones. So if you are to hover, for example, on Dokolo, okay, so we can be able to see the performance of a candidate in that specific district. And when you look at this card at the moment, you're able to see that Dokolo has 2 constituencies, and you're also able to see the number of polling stations in that specific district, and also to know that how many of these polling stations have reported. It's the same summary, but it's broken down our district in terms of registered voters, how many were valid votes, and also we show the trend, the performance of the candidate in that specific district, and you're able to interact in this same manner for the rest of the districts. You could, for this purpose, we shall demonstrate up to the polling station for you to be able to understand that the results that are declared at different intervals are a summation of what we get from the different polling stations. So Dokolo, you could go down to, you could choose North, 1 constituency. So the maps are very interactive. You just, at 1 click, you're able to go. So could you go down up to the sub-county in Dokolo? Constituency, North, you could choose North. And then, so you're able to look at the number of the yellow ones, or the colored ones, are the ones which have polling stations that have submitted results. When you see the ones which are grayed out or white at this point, it means that in those different sub-counties, no polling station so far has submitted results. So when you look at this, at least maybe choose Adok. Adok is one of the parishes within Adok sub-county, and we are going to look at the results at least of 1 polling station. And within Adok as a parish, we see that it has 5 polling stations. So you're able to look at the breakdown in terms of polling station level, where we aggregate results from that level up to the national level. So taking an example of Odea Primary School B, at least we're able to see that we have 692 registered voters, and we had 365 valid voters with 384 voter turnout. 365 were able to have valid votes, and then the invalid were 19. But even at this level of a polling station, at least we are able to visualize a candidate who is leading, or the breakdown in terms of number of votes, which we visualize as vote count. But we are also able to look at the percentage that a specific candidate was able to receive. And you can do this for your area of interest, for your polling station of interest, and you're able to navigate across the entire country in this specific manner. So that being said, that brings me to the end of this specific presentation of how we visualize our results right from the polling station level up to the national level, utilizing the election results visualization system. Thank you so much. I can share back to you. Thank you. I've been asked to share information. This dashboard is live, and for the candidate agents, you're able, on your laptop, there is an icon. It's Chrome, but there's only one icon, which is there. If you click it, you'll be able to launch this specific system, and you're able to interact the system at the moment. Lord Chair, thank you very much, and that is the information as we share.
Okay, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. For the moment, that's what we can share with you. And as the Director of Technical Support Services says, there are going to be live streaming of the results per district. This, therefore, marks the end of this session. The next briefing will be at 6 p.m. after we have received more results, which we'll be sharing with you, or those who will be present, and the nation at large. Once again, I commend you for coming, for having a keen interest in what we are doing and the outcome of yesterday's processes where Ugandans stand up to vote for their next president. I thank you and see you later.
Well, that is at Lubowa National Tally Center there. We received that update from the Electoral Commission, and a part of what we know now, we stand at a 59.4% total, which is part of the total number of the polling stations. Right now, we want to go over to Kololo Tally Center, where Daniel Mugoya is on standby to give us the updates on all provisional results or declarations.
Chibina National Unity Platform che nkwasaganya nga ssabawandiisi mwena mukimanyi nti mbadde nesimbyeyo mu kalulu ka Kampala Central omubaka wa Parliament. Olunaku lwajjo bannayuganda badde basuubira kulonda, naye kyetulabye mu Kampala Central ate nga tekyawukana na bitundu bingi by'eggwanga kikaabya amaziga. Ab'amawulire ekirungi ebimu mubikutte, tukedde kutambula mu polling stations ez'enjawulo awamu ne tusanga nga boxes already zijjudde, ate awalala abo bakwata mundu ne tusanga nga bali mu kutiikinga obululu bwaffe, ate awalala ne tusanga nga badeployinze eggaali z'abayaayi, si gaali ennungi ffe oluusi twogerako, naye tusanze abayaayi abakuba buli muntu yenna yenna abadde wa NUP. Era kye bakoze abo instructions nga babadde nazo, bagobye abantu baffe polling stations. Era bw'ogenda mu Kisenyi 1 mwaba basobodde ogendayo abamawulire mubalaba abavubuka abo ababaddeyo, bajenti baffe badde batuukayo bwe bati ne bakuba ne babagoba ku polling stations zonna zonna, awo ne batiikinga obululu kyere buli omu nga bw'ayagala oba nga bw'abadde ayagala. Tekikomyawo polling stations ezimu naddala Summit View n'awalala, amagye baleese amagye ne gabeera mu lines ne bakuba akalulu emirundi 8 10, buli omu emirundi gina gy'abadde asobola gy'abadde akola ki alonda. So tugumidde ebyo byonna byonna olunaku lwajjo, era bwe tumaze ne tukola ekibalo kyaffe ne tusanga nti newankubadde bakoze ebyo byonna byonna tubadde tuliidinga mu kalulu ako. Kyova olaba tusuze wano ku Tale Center kubanga tubadde tukiraba nti newankubadde babadde bakoze emivyo mingi nnyo mu kulonda, tubadde tuliidinga. Kiki bakoze? Of course mukimanyi bulungi nti omuntu gwe mbadde nesimbyeyo naye ye Minisita wa Museveni gwe bayita Minisita Kabanda, era tubadde tumuwangudde. Ne bw'olaba polling stations zonna teri okujjako ezo ze bakoze emivuyo, togenda kusanga polling station yenna ebadde genuine nga bamulonda oba nga bamulonze. Naye bagenze ne bakwata polling stations entonotono ddala mu Kisenyi 1 ne bagenda ne bakwata ne polling stations ku Summit View ne bagenda ne bakwata ne polling stations endala ku State House ne beewa obululu obutabalika nga bungi nnyo nga ne bwobaani bwoba wakulaba mu register ya Kampala Central oba tosobola kubayitako. So abantu bonna era n'amawulire gabadde gagamba Lubongoya is leading in Kampala Central kubanga bwe kibadde twagenze ekiro kyajjo nga tulidinga bulungi nga comfortable win yaffe tugirina era buli omu nga atandise n'okutuyozaayoza naye basobola ne banya bwe tugenze kukeera ku makya olunaku olwaleero zibadde nga ssaawa 3 ne batandika kusoma ebintu bye tutategeera gye bivudde ne bagamba nti ku State House awo Emisa Kabanda yafunye obululu obusukka mu 4,000 ffe twafunyeko obululu 8 bwokka ne webuuza awo abantu bameka balonderawo.
Okay, and that was that update from Kololo, of course, there. And, you know, the opposition is still making noise about how disgruntled they are about the whole exercise. But still, we do have some good, you know, comments from other people that are really appreciating the work of the Electoral Commission. And we know when the true results come out, we will truly know the truth. In studios, I'm joined by Counsel. He is a lawyer, a political analyst, and he's here to break down a debrief on how the yesterday you know, exercise took place. What do we learn from what happened yesterday? The biometrics malfunctioning issue, is that really something that we should look into as we move ahead, probably as we prepare for the next coming elections? So basically he's here to break down a debrief for us. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you, viewers.
A little bit of, you know, your highlight on yesterday's performance. A lot of people were crediting the Electoral Commission. You know, the biometrics malfunctioning was quite an issue, but then they managed to remain calm. But probably one of the challenges that really happened, and they couldn't, you know, they couldn't harmonize on that, is a lot of people that came early to vote actually abandoned the exercise and went back home, which wasn't good.
Yes, the issue of biometrics, the mess that happened, actually managed to disenfranchise a huge number of people, because I got to know that people were at polling stations for as early as 7 or even 6. They wanted to vote and go home and do other things. But then, when there was a breakdown of the biometric machines, when the materials for voting, there was an undue delay in delivering the materials for voting at a number of polling stations, especially in the urban centers in Kampala and Wakiso. After some time, some people got tired and decided to leave. So that disenfranchised quite a number of voters. So that is regrettable. And to put it in perspective, something like this has happened previously. You remember there was complaints, there were some complaints some time back. The districts of Wakiso and Kampala, it must have been 2016 elections. For as long as like late afternoon at some polling stations, people had not received election materials to vote. So some of these delays, and then of course the mess about malfunctioning
the
biometrics is quite unfortunate, because first of all, those biometric machines were procured at a whopping, I think the sum is like 200 billion. So they were meant to enhance the voting process.
Yes.
So that, of course, when the ballot paper is scanned, you don't have to go manual to look for someone's name on the register, which takes time. So when they malfunction, first of all, questions arise. How about that money, the taxpayers' money, in hundreds of billions of Ugandan shillings? How about that? It's a loss to the taxpayer. Secondly, now the time. And then, of course, the time that was lost between late delivery of materials, then consulting the chairman to see now the machines are breaking down, they are not functioning. What do we do? Some time was lost. And then, of course, when you start voting at midday or at 11, and then closing time is 4 p.m., you know there's a problem.
True.
Yeah, there's a limited time for Ugandans to cast their votes, their ballots.
Yeah, some people were saying that probably what brought about the malfunctioning was the internet shutdown. But then we heard from UCC's, head of PIERA, Mr. Ibrahim Bosa, there in Daily Monitor, expressing that there is no link between internet and the BVV kits.
So of course we may not know, because these machines, biometric, they are digital, and a lot of equipment these days uses really the internet.
Because you have to connect with the server from the Electoral Commission.
Yes.
Well, we will know the truth.
You have to scan and then connect to the server to authenticate the fact that this is a voter is in your system. How do you do that without the internet?
Without the internet.
Yes.
Yeah, basically. Well, that is a case that we will still have to argue about. But now, when we see, my take home yesterday was we had leaders that we could learn from, leaders that we could pick a leaf from. They came, they followed the rules, they lined up like anybody else. They didn't just surpass people that are already in line. Yes. They lined up, they made their votes, they followed each and every rule. What do you say about that?
Okay, of course, some of, despite the mess of the biometrics, this election has been largely peaceful and organized. I think we can credit the Electoral Commission for certain things, and also the behavior of some of the leaders that you mentioned, to the effect that they followed, there was discipline, and of course, when a leader follows the procedure,
when there's rule of law,
when there's law, and there's orderliness, even the rest of the Ugandans follow suit. So there wasn't a lot of acrimony, disorderliness. Of course, apart from a few small pockets where we had incidences of tear gas. But I think that happened at when the counting of votes was ongoing. In some areas, not.
But for the polling exercise,
yes, it was largely peaceful and orderly. Yes.
Now, we have a lot of people that are disgruntled. Lubongoya is speaking on verified information that he was cheated. Can we have evidence to that? Is it possible? We've already seen evidence that the exercise went on well, and people are really, happy about where we are so far. And even with the provisional results that we are receiving from the Electoral Commission, indicating that there's no much scuffle. Now, can you say something about Lubongoya's accusations?
Of course, I've watched a little bit of what he had to say. He is making a number of allegations that there was ballot stuffing, that certain ballots were coming from some place, but you see, that is his narrative. There hasn't been any independent confirmation of what he's saying. And secondly, I don't, as